never believed in ghosts. At least, not until I spent a night inside the old Willowbrook Asylum. It's a place shunned by locals, hidden deep in the woods just outside my town. Closed down in the late 1970s after a string of mysterious patient disappearances, it's been left to rot. The windows are shattered, the paint peeling, the iron gates chained shut. Yet, something about it always pulled me in. Not curiosity exactly, more like a quiet obsession. One chilly autumn evening, armed with a flashlight and a voice recorder, I slipped through a gap in the fence. The air was thick with damp rot and an almost electric stillness. The forest seemed to hold its breath around me. Inside, the corridors were endless tunnels of cracked walls and peeling wallpaper, the faint smell of mildew mixing with something else. A metallic tang, like old blood. The silence was overwhelming, broken only by the distant drip of water and the scuffle of rats. I had read every account I could find on the asylum, reports from former staff, news articles about patients who vanished without a trace, strange recordings found on discarded tapes, but nothing prepared me for the atmosphere here, the feeling that I was never truly alone. After about an hour, I reached the East Wing, where patients with the most severe diagnoses were kept. The air grew colder, and my breath came out in visible puffs. My flashlight flickered briefly, and I cursed under my breath, tapping it against my palm. Then I heard it, a whisper, faint at first, like a breath on the back of my neck. I froze. "Hello?" No response. The whisper came again, this time more urgent, almost desperate, but still indecipherable, like it wasn't language, but emotion, pain, pleading. I pressed record. "Who's there?" I asked, voice barely above a whisper. The corridor ahead seemed to stretch and warp, the shadows deepening into something almost tangible. I took a cautious step forward, the floorboards creaking underfoot. Then the whisper became multiple voices overlapping, a low murmur rising to a soft chant. I turned to leave, heart pounding, but the corridor behind me seemed different. The exit I'd come through was now blocked by rubble. Panic started to creep in. I ran down the hallway, looking for another way out, but every door I opened led to the same endless darkness or rooms covered in torn bedsheets and broken furniture. I stopped in front of one particular room, room 213. The door was slightly ajar, and from inside came that same whispering, like a crowd of sorrowful souls gathered in secret. Against every instinct, I pushed the door open. The room was empty except for a single rocking chair that moved gently, as if someone invisible was sitting in it. My breath hitched. I raised the voice recorder to the chair and asked again, "Who's here? What do you want?" The rocking stopped. Silence. Then a slow, deliberate knock came from the far wall. 1, 2, 3 knocks. But no one was visible. I stepped back, tripping over debris, and the door slammed shut behind me. The whispering turned into a loud, desperate wail, echoing through the walls, vibrating in my chest. I fumbled with the door handle, heart racing, and finally it gave way. I bolted down the hallway, the wailing chasing me like a storm, every step echoing off the walls. Bursting outside into the night air, I gasped for breath, the sounds abruptly cut off as if severed by an invisible blade. I looked back. The asylum loomed silently, the darkness swallowing every detail. At home, I played back the recording. There was the faint whispering, yes, but also something else. A voice, barely audible beneath the noise. It said one word: stay. What's real? What's not? People have long wondered what happened at Willowbrook. Some say the patients were never really moved out, that their suffering still lingers in the walls. Others claim the disappearances were covered up, experiments gone wrong. I don't know if I encountered spirits, or if my mind just played tricks in the oppressive silence. But one thing is certain. Some places don't want to be disturbed, and once they reach out, the invitation isn't always a welcome one.